Commissioner Delaney Hart. Delaney Hart?
Right there.
Oh. Could you come down here? You can, I was going to say, is there someone that can do that? She'll be done just one second. No, I got someone that's
Right there.
so, okay, so before you
Yellow shirts. All right, everyone find a window. It's like school group photos. I know you've done it. Find a
Okay, she's the official photographer, so everybody pay attention to her.
We have a lot.
Okay, hold on, guys. Where do you want that to be if somebody wants to buy any of these?
Do you want me to?
You tell me. I just want to be in the way of any of that there. Hold on. Look, she's got to switch lenses right now, so go ahead and mount.
Okay, the other thing is, if we are anybody in a yellow shirt is people on the committee who are helping with this. So if you have questions, come find us. And I think there's some confusion right now. The one paper that got put in your bucket, that is just a list of the kids who made it here. It actually went like breeding ewes, breeding gilts, breeding does. Then there is a different show order that you're going to come in that was drawn at random. All you have to worry about is being down at the north gate when it's time to start breeding ewes. Okay? And she will line you up and she will bring you in the ring. So you just got to pay attention down there. But we're starting with breeding ewes. Then we'll go to breeding gilts, breeding does, and breeding heifers.
A lot of big smiles.
Okay, any questions for us? No questions? Okay, each class will probably take 15 minutes or less.
Good evening. We're about 5 minutes away from our broadcast tonight. My name is Michael Earl, going to be broadcasting on Fuller Digital Solutions on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to that for future broadcasts. We want to thank our sponsors for the Best of the West, and they include our elite sponsors of the Crawford County Fairgrounds, Valley Vet, Stein Seed Company, Josephine Photography, First Co-op and ShowRite, Iowa Corn Growers, United Bank of Iowa, Scholar Grain, Cass County Beef Producers, Kim Tibkin Design, Graphic Ideas, Purple Bound Show Feeds, Sullivan Supply, McDonald Genetics, and AMVC Vet Services. Also our champion sponsors, including the Koenig family, the Kid Rancher, Nutrient Ag Solutions, Tipton Farms, Elanco, Animal Health International. Our reserve sponsors, Nutrient Ag Solutions, Othunk Farm Supply, ND Farms, Woodbury County Cattlemen, Udell Cattle, Security National Bank, UBI in Woodbury, Beck Dunlap Ag LLC that is, Voiles and Ployer Show Pigs, Sewer Livestock, Pryor Show Cattle, and S2V2 Show Cattle, and our blue sponsors, including Morton Buildings in Ottawa, Pioneer Hybrid, Beaker Ridge, Ida County Extension, Ida County Cattlemen, Farmers Co-op Elevator, Farm Bureau, Denise Van Dusen, Smith, Charlet, Schulte Cattle Company, Trevor and Beth Kennett's family, Stepping Stone Genetics, Kenny Angus, Iowa Meat and Goat Association, Reggie and Sarah Voiles, the Crawford County Cattlemen, J.D. Wyman Service, and Wyman Car Quest. We also have Will Cattle Company, Obrecht Livestock.
Okay, before we get
Bernie
started
Farms,
here,
in memory of
I
Dee
have
Peterson,
asked Jody Scholl
Seed, and Brian
to come sing the national
Brennan,
anthem for us.
Moore
So if
Club
everybody
Lambs,
would stand,
Bold and
the flag
Trucker,
is
Whitney
right
Club
behind the
Lambs,
announcer's stand.
Damage
Remove your
Incorporated,
caps, and I will turn this over to Jody.
Show Pigs, Will Cattle Company, and Coke Atlantic Bottle Company. Our national anthem is up next.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We're going to be joining our announcer, Bobby Bodker, here in just a couple of moments. We'll also get live audio from the judge as well. Again, my name is Michael Earl. I want to thank you for joining us tonight as a production of Fuller Digital Solutions. Our order of show will be breeding ewes, then breeding gilts, breeding does, and breeding heifers, followed by the market lambs, market hogs, market goats, and market beef. This is the camera angle we're going to have for tonight as we're going to pick up the audio. And we hope you enjoy tonight's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in to Fuller Digital Solutions. Make sure you call and tell some friends as well so they can tune in and take a look at what these kids are putting out. A big crowd up here, and everybody showing their support for the local kids as they're coming through, as always, at fair time. And this is a big show as well because of the fairs and haven't had to have as much out there for the fairs, but I know a lot of them are still going on, and we want to thank those people that are volunteering tonight as well and across the area for the fairs and for the kids to make sure they can enjoy this time of year like they always have. Again, we're going to do breeding ewes, breeding gilts, breeding does, then breeding heifers, followed by market lambs, market hogs, market goats, and market beef. And that will do it for our pre-show talk. We're going to join our announcer here in just a moment as the show is set to begin.
Okay, are we ready to get the show on the road? I'd like to welcome everybody tonight to the 3rd annual Best of the West Showdown right here at the Crawford County Fairgrounds. You've got kids from all over, I believe 6 or 7 county radius. 9 county, thank you. I got good ears. So anyway, your judges tonight. Miles Tenyus, raise your hand, Miles. He's a single man from Highland, Illinois, down by St. Louis. Raises show pigs and cattle all over the world. He's also a rep for Show-Right Feeds. So if you got any Show-Right Feeds that you didn't like, he's the man to talk to. On the other side is Brent Titus, Alexis, Illinois. You know the neat thing about these guys, they crossed the state line and they took their masks off. He is a show sheep breeder for not only his son, but also 14 other countries around the world. Wife Lindsay and son Trace. So anyway, we're going to start off with our sponsors tonight. Your elite sponsors: Crawford County Fairgrounds, Valley Vet, Stein Seed Company, Team Cass County also, Josephine Photography, First Co-op and Show-Right, Iowa Corn Growers, United Bank of Iowa, Schooler Grain, who's sponsoring Team Shelby, Cass County Beef Producers, Kim Tibkin Design, Graphic Ideas, Purple Bound Show Feed, Sullivan Supply, McDonald Genetics, and AMVC Vet Services. Your champion sponsors for the night is going to be the Koenig family sponsoring Team Crawford County, the Kid Rancher with Team Woodbury County, Nutrien, Tibkin Farms, Elanco, Animal Health International. Your reserve sponsors this evening is going to be Nutrien Ag Solutions out of Wall Lake, Oathout and Farm Supply at Atlantic, ND Farms from Holstein, Woodbury County Cattlemen, Udell Cattle, Security National Bank, UBI of Woodbury County, Beck's Dunlap Ag LLC, Voiles and Ployer Show Pigs with Team Sac County, Sewer Livestock, Pryor Show Cattle with Team Harrison County, S2V2 Show Cattle with Team Carroll County, Remington Seeds. I guess we're ready to go. So coming into the ring is going to be your first class, which is the breeding ewes. You're going to have Josie Koenig from Crawford County, Delane Hart from Monona County, Delaney Hart, Andy Booth, Carroll County, Jackson Kinnetz from Ida County, Maddie Anderson, Cass County, Trevor Schultz from Shelby County, Chase Sippersma from Woodbury County. If I get it wrong, I apologize. And Waylon Gemberling from Sac County. Your breeding ewes. These were all champions in their home counties. And as your judge takes a good close look at them sheep, we're going to go on to our blue sponsors, which is Morton Buildings out of Ottawa with Team Monona County, Pioneer Hybrid, Cass County Sales Reps, Becker Ridge Farms, Ida County Extension, Ida County Cattlemen, Farmers Cooperative Elevator, Farm Bureau Denise Von Dusen, Smith Charlet, Schulte Cattle Company, Trevor and Beth Kennitz, Stepping Stone Genetics, Kenny Angus, Iowa Meat Goat Association, Redenius Delivery Service with Team Ida County, Reggie and Sarah Voiles with Team Sac County, Crawford County Cattlemen, J.D. Wyman Service and Wyman Carcrest, Coke out of Atlantic Bottling Company, Will Cattle Company, Obrick Livestock, Don Chesky Show Pigs, Berry Farms, Damage Incorporated Show Stock, in memory of D. Peterson, Whitney Club Lambs, Kruger Seed, Brian Brenny, Bolt Trucking, more Club Lambs, and Let's Show Lambs. And don't forget, if you're looking for something to eat in between, the Bowling Alley Catering is located right out to the south of that ring. And they're from Odebolt. Steak sandwiches, $9. Cheap. And our photographers for the evening. There's two clear down on the other end. I don't know where the other one is. Oh, there she is. She's actually doing her job. The first little one, she's here almost every year. Rachel with Redefined Photography. Rachel, we're talking about you. She's busy. And her helper, also with Redefined, and Penny Hill is her own company, is Haley, the blonde down here that's actually working. And Abby, there you are, with Josephine Photography. Don't forget to look them up on Facebook. They can make you look 60 pounds lighter like they did me.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thanks for inviting me out here today to have the opportunity to sort through these sheep and work with the young people. You know, Miles and I were visiting here as I walked up that I think we possibly maybe judged the first one of these together in Donaldson a long time ago. And they've just grown and expanded and gotten really, really big. And it's so awesome that this state has put these together and allowed to pick these champions. And now with the All Iowa Showdown, I think you just have a really unique opportunity the way this is ran. So unique that we stole it and we're doing it in Western Illinois. We took that model and said, that seems like it works pretty good. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do it this year because we didn't get to have any county fairs. So we're excited to be here and working with young people that got to show their livestock at their county fair. I'm going to discuss each one of them with you here real quick because I think the kids deserve it. I think, we're not going to be here for a long time this evening, and every one of you moms and dads or showmen are at least going to get want to know what I think, and I'm not going to dote or drag it on, but I am going to evaluate these livestock for you so that if you're not selected champion or reserve, you at least know what's going on in my mind. We start down here on this end, and one that's just super unique in terms of her forerib shape. She's got an extra shot of length of spine, and I like that When this young man gets her driving hard enough that she runs uphill, she's one that you can definitely get excited about the balance and quality that she has. We set that one in motion. Her hip angle needs to be better. Her hind leg needs to be strengthened just a little bit. She's got a little extra give and cushion behind, not quite as stable on them rear two as I'd prefer. Front 2/3 of that one I like a great deal. I like to change her hip. A massive one that comes out next, and young man, this one is stout and burly and has all the extra ESTs in terms of width and expression. She's one that I think if you read her maturity is acceptable, she can push very high up in this particular group. I'd like to change the base of her chest. I'd like to shorten her blade. I'd like to change her forerib shape and round that one up in her body for me to just call her elite. I think that's one that offers an extreme amount of utility. I'd just like to maybe make her look a bit more like a lady up through her front end. The next one is bold and massive, and her forerib is wild. She's short-bladed. She's good back. She's big-legged, big-hipped. One that I think would question maybe as a yearling, what's the mature size look like there? She's certainly not going to be the biggest female. I could change her loin edge just a nickel if I'm going to get real picky, but that's a stout, square, wide, big-legged, high-quality one. The next one's hides impeccable, and her touch is extremely, extremely good. She's smooth and fresh. If you think she runs uphill enough for you, she's definitely in the discussion. I like a lot of things about her. I wish she's a little taller fronted. Uniquely, though, she's skinny necked to go along with that, and that maybe doesn't always come together. I think that's one's got some really, really unique pieces. I like to make her stand up a little taller on her front end. The next one is the most elegant one. She's the tall-fronted one. She's the skinny-necked one. She's the frail-boned one, and she's the small-footed one of this particular group. I got to make her stouter. But boy, I tell you what, if you chop her legs off and look at her body, look at her breastbone, look at her length of blade, her neck attachment, all those things on that one are very, very good. Man, if she had a big set of feet and legs, she could be elite for sure. Stout one next, bold and wide, big muscles, got the great big legs and the fur, maybe got an extra D in there too. I like to change that hind leg just a little bit on her to move her up. Real high quality one next with a good rib cage and a bold body shape. Got to change her dock just a little bit. Got to stouten her up in her feet and legs. The next one that we've got down here at the end, this one is as unique in the front 2/3 of her body as any in this particular group. She runs out of gas when I get right behind her. That one tapers off to her dock, gives away in her loin edge just a bit too much for me. It is a good set of ewes and a very good set of young people. I've had a blast here in the short time we've got to work through them. I'm going to go out here and get you a champion reserve out of this division. But before I do so, why don't you put your hands together and give all these kids a big round of applause.
And the official results in the breeding ewes. First place went to Trevor Schultz from Shelby County. And second to Maddie Anderson from Cass County. And coming in next is going to be the breeding gilts. Coming into the ring in no specific order, it's going to be Kylie Nelson from Shelby County, Caden Jansen from Carroll County, Charles Ployer from Woodbury County, Cale Niehaus, Sac County, Claire Gross from Harrison, Michaela Henners from Crawford County, and Peyton Whitrock, Ida County. And as our judge Miles Tenyus looks over the breeding gilts tonight, I'm going to go over the elite sponsors again. Crawford County Fairgrounds, Valley Vet, Stein Seed Company with Team Cass County, Josephine Photography, First Co-op and Showright, Iowa Corn Growers, United Bank of Iowa, Schooler Grain with Team Shelby County, Cass County Beef Producers, Kim Tibgen Designs, Graphic Ideas, Purple Bound Show Feeds, Sullivan Supply, McDonald's Genetics, and AMVC Vet Clinic. Got it figured out yet, Miles?
Well, good evening. Definitely a pleasure to be in Iowa, and certainly a pleasure to be back at one of these showdowns. Without a question, one of the most unique events every year. And I've just been fortunate enough, like Brent has most of the years, throughout somewhere in the state of Iowa, to get to judge one of these. And so it's always fun, very unique. And I applaud you families, I applaud the exhibitors for what you're doing. Obviously, not only has it made your county fairs just that much better, but it's made the people that support them even that much stronger as well. And so I'm certainly appreciative of it, and I know that we only go through a few divisions. Going to get to judge the cattle and the hogs tonight, and so I'm very excited to see the quality. Definitely, without question, as we get here into our breeding gilt division, there's lots and lots of good in here in each one of them. And I think to me, as you look through, there's probably 2 or 3 of them that really kind of stick out there like a sore thumb. I mean, just kind of have the extra base width, the extra feature, look, and presence. As I look through them, the young ladies there on the far side, the calico gilt, really big muscled gilt. Awesome whenever you ride up on her, good in her rib cage, and I like her coming at you. I don't see her maybe flexing and going as good off of her hip and hind leg. I don't see her nearly as heavy boned as when I do the gilts that maybe sit right here in the middle of the ring. Young man's blue spotted hip gilt is just a really well balanced hog. I don't think that you'd ever look in and say that she's out there anywhere, but you wouldn't say she's bad anywhere either. I think everything balances and blends very well. She's maybe not as heavy boned. She's maybe not as attractive out there through her front end as what a couple of these other ones are, but that gilt squares and goes good on both ends. It'll be a nice kind of a long-term sow. Young man's white gilt there, there. Gilt that's good in her rib and a lover underline from a femininity standpoint and a female maternal characteristics. The size and set of her vulva is good. A gilt that, again, squares good off of her hind leg. She maybe doesn't come as true to you at her knee. I don't see her stout in terms of her face and arm, and I don't see that gilt maybe just as handling her spine as comfortably as a few of these other ones, but certainly nice. I like the belly gilt from the profile. Wish she was a little wider and stouter. We got three really bold ones out here. The young lady's got one on the far side that I think has the extra power and the extra muscle that I like in terms of just making some show barrows. I love her skull and her front end and her arm. I wish she'd handle her hind leg better. I think as she comes in and as she's going to leave, she's going to do it just that much tighter out of her rear tube. I wish that gilt would plant and drive and go with just a little more athleticism. That's a sharp built one from the side that handles each end of her body very well. Little flat, little long on her front foot, and maybe twist just a shot, and she's right there as you get in behind her in terms of where her hock's going to set. But I still love that gilt's feature, and I like the way that she balances in terms of her hip, hind leg, and her range of motion from the profile and just how everything patterns. Young man right there has got one, and I think as you watch him come, you watch him go, she's equally as wide and opened up the base of her skeleton as any of them. Really big and powerful as you ride up high on her. I think from her hip down through her hock and rear foot, she also is the squarest while still offering the most in terms of ESTs. The stoutest, the widest, and just the boldest one out here, and yet still has a nice look to her from the side. Maybe gets off just a little in her top line, and she too, in terms of just natural frame size, probably reads a shot moderate for some, but I still think balances well today, and they've done a good job of feeding and filling her up. So my compliments to each one of them. Just like Brent said, definitely going to be a fun evening, and I didn't want to take just a whole lot of time. I knew some of these hogs were starting to maybe wear down just a bit and wanting to get back. So if you would give these kids a great big round of applause, I'll select your granted reserve.
And the official results in the breeding gilts. Your champion goes to Charles Ployer out of Woodbury County, and reserved to Caden Jansen out of Carroll County. Coming in next is going to be the breeding doe class. Also, this just in. Late breaking news with Best in the West Showdown. The champion in the breeding gilt class gets 2 doses of semen presented by McDonald Genetics, Corey McDonald. It's a $5,000 retail value. And as we wait for the breeding does to make their way to the ring, I'm going to give a big shout out to the champion sponsors. The Koenig family with Team Crawford County. The Kid Rancher with Team Woodbury County. Nutrien, Timken Farms, Alanco, Animal Health International. Moving on to the reserve sponsors since it's still got a little time. Nutrien Ag Solutions out of Wall Lake. Othowd and Farm Supply out of Atlantic. ND Farms from Holstein. Woodbury County Cattlemen. Udell Cattle, Security National Bank, UBI Woodbury County, Beck's Dunlap Ag LLC, Voiles Employers Show Pig with Team Sac County, Sewer Livestock, Pryor Show Cattle with Team Harrison County, S2V2 Show Cattle and Team Carroll County, and Remington Seeds.
Who's in here?
I believe we're still waiting on one person to get their doe up to the ring. So we'll move on to our blue sponsors. Morton Buildings out of Ottawa with Team Monona County. Pioneer Hybrid, Cass County Sales Reps. Becker Ridge Farms, Ida County Extension. Ida County Cattlemen. Farmers Cooperative Elevator. Farm Bureau, Denise Von Dusen. Smith Charlet. Schulte Cattle Company. Trevor and Beth Kennitz. Family Stepping Stone Genetics. Kenny Angus. Iowa Meat Goat Association. Redenius Delivery Service with Team Ida County. Reggie and Sarah Voiles and Team Sac County. Crawford County Cattlemen's. J.D. Wyman Service and Wyman Carcrest. Coke Atlantic Bottling Company. Will Cattle Company. Obrecht Livestock. Don Chesky Show Pigs. Berry Farms. Damage Incorporated Show Stock. In memory of D. Peterson. Whitney Club Lambs. Kruger's Seed. Brian Brenny. Bolt Trucking. More Club Lambs and Let Show Lambs. Also, once again, if you're hungry or thirsty, the Oda Bolt Bowling Alley's got their trailer just south of the show ring. They'd be more than happy to cook you up a cheeseburger that weighs a pound. And it looks like we are underway with the breeding does. Coming into the ring in no specific order, I believe. Well, maybe we will be. It's going to be Chance Wheeler from Sac County, Jenna Baker, Woodbury County, Andy Booth from Carroll County, Natalie Scholl, Cass County, Keaton Johnson, Ida County, Hugo Butker, Crawford County, and Ania Castor from Shelby County. Or is it Anya? Ania. I would have got there sooner or later. Like trying to spell tenuous. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for something to do and you're sitting at home and you've got access to the internet and Facebook, don't forget to look up Redefine Photography, Penny Hill Photography, and Josephine Photography. Those are our three ladies that are giving all the photos tonight. And so far, I think they're going to be good. So if you want to look at the results of the photos, get on Facebook and like their page.
just an incredible set of does here to work through, and just the quality is very, very deep. And I can't wait to get to the market side of this deal because I'm just been pumped about the ewes and the does. I'm going to do the same thing here and just talk about them all, let the young people know what's going on in my mind. I think it gets really, really tight out here, and I will say judging goats when you have does that are full bloods versus market size or market type gets very, very difficult because the parameters in each one of those spectrums is really different in terms of what is deemed high quality. And so you got to weigh in your mind here, how does this one fit if we were to pull them out and show them where they belong against other goats, half bloods, commercials, full bloods, all that kind of stuff. And it can make it very difficult when you get different types and kinds here in this particular division shown against each other. Well, the aged doe up here on the front end is very capacious. She's bold-ribbed, one that's obviously in production. That takes probably a little away from her. She's not as bloomy and muscular as the rest of her contemporaries. There's a big frame goat that's been real high-performing. A lot of good in that one. Maybe not quite in the show rig that some of the others we see down here are. The next one I really like. She's very well presented. She's tall-fronted. She's bold in her forearm and her forerib. Maybe her neck attachment's just a little bit deeper than I would prefer. Maybe her hind legs a little straighter than I would prefer in relation to some of these out here. The paint that comes next, if you close your eyes and touch their backs, that's the one you like the best. This one's creased up and hard down her top side. Great big loin. That one's pretty narrow underneath. That one runs out of gas from behind in relation to some of these others. Interestingly enough, you won't get that feel when you touch her because you think that one's going to be big, big muscled everywhere. She's got a great big rack and great big loin edge laid in her. I wish she had the stifle turn, the rear width underneath to go along with that. And unfortunately, she doesn't. But she's certainly in the running because of that extra shape and expression of muscling. The Appaloosa that comes next, one we love from the side profile. One that's tall-fronted, one that's skinny-necked, one that really runs uphill, big rib. This one disappoints when we touch her, and that she's the highest conditioned goat in this particular group. She's relatively the least shapely of any when we touch them down their back. Super fit job. Love the way the young lady presents this one to us. Just got to put some more shape in her. Quite a bit of white meat there that doesn't match the look you get. You think that one's real bold. She's maybe not when you get your hands on her. A stout, thick one that comes out in line next. I got to change that one's front end design just a little. Big barrel ribbed, great big muscles. She gets just a bit deeper in her neck attachment. The base of her neck is deeper than I would prefer. Her chest plate coming out in her just a little bit. Need that one to run uphill just a little bit more for me to get in on that one just completely. The one in next, you talk about one that they have put the smoke on, fitting her. I mean, them legs are perfect. She's stout and burly. One that's level-hipped and skinny-necked and tall-fronted. One that I like a great deal. Maybe could change her right out of the backside of her shoulder if we're going to get just real critical on her, but that's a good one. That's tall-fronted, that's good-looking, that's bold-ribbed, that's in the right kind of presentation to talk about sorting to the top end. Another paint here that I like. She's muscular, she's basic, she's complete. I don't think her hip angle matches the quality of just a couple other ones out here. But this is a really good set that come in a lot of different types and kinds. Give these young people a great big round of applause. I'm going to go out here and get you a pair of them.
And your champion in the breeding does goes to Jenna Baker, Woodbury County, and reserved to Natalie Scholl, Cass County. Let's give them a round of applause as they make their way out of the ring to the south, and we eagerly await the breeding heifer class that'll be coming in next. And also, if you notice to the south of the ring, you see those little short show boxes down there with support from our gracious donors. And the funds provided, they are available for the champions, along with the belt buckles and all the other prizes that are going to the kids tonight. Also, while we wait in between classes, if you'd like to donate, Beth will take your money. Otherwise, for $10, down on the south end, donated by Animal Health International, is a vet box. I don't know if you've seen that when you're walking in. June Knopp, where are you? The lovely June Knopp was standing by it. I don't know where she went. Yep, she got scared because I was going to say her name. But anyway, they will take a $10 donation from you for a chance to win that $750 vet box. Keep your medicine cold. So anyway, we'll be waiting for the beef animals to make their way, the breeding heifers to make their way to the ring here in a minute, and we'll be back underway. And coming into the ring, it's going to be the breeding heifers. It's going to be Katie Brenner from Monona County, Wyatt Pryor, Harrison County, Brock Henderson, Cass County, Micaiah Smith from Crawford County, Olivia Beeson, Woodbury County, Colton Knopp, Ida County. That's why she wasn't down there. Alyssa Obrick, Shelby County, Dean Reese from Sac County, And Ethan Earlbeck from Carroll County coming in the back. And the champion of the breeding heifer class will get a certificate for 1 flush and 6 embryo freezes or transfers performed by Dr. Travis Hargens, a Denison High School graduate, at AMVCNC Veterinary Clinic or Services. And it must be performed before 8/3 of 21. Dr. Travis Hargens, DMV, AMVC Veterinary Services.
Wow, what a good set of cattle, what a good set of females, and then obviously kids that get it to present them out here. Without question, an outstanding lineup as you look from the very first champion all the way down here to your final champion. You know, we pulled them out and circled them twice there and did a little different way, a little more unorthodox probably than what you're used to, but just simply based upon ring size, we decided to do that. And I think it worked well. It allowed the cattle to get comfortable, come back into a line and just set back in the way that they need to and get to be show cattle again. And so even small ring, big ring, doesn't matter, rectangle, square, circle, the cattle are very good. And so with that, I ask you to put your hands together for each one of these kids, and a job well done. You know, I think as you look through the cattle, there's probably parts and pieces of each one of them, and maybe two or three of them that really will stick out in your mind as those cattle that maybe balance the pieces together just a little bit better. You got the young man's plus on the far side here, and just as stout and as big muscled and as wide built as you'd probably want one. I think that heifer will stop and stand to give you a nice kind of a look. She's a little rounder at the base of her shoulder. I don't think maybe she's as comfortable off either end of her body as what these other cattle are as I think about them. But she's in the mix in terms of width and stoutness and just the way that she opens up as you get right in behind the cattle and a nice kind of a look, a heifer that has some value. You got the young lady's heifer here, the commercial heifer that's maybe a little more downsized in her frame, but I don't mind that. I think she balances well comparatively to her frame size. She's a heifer that's not overly conditioned for her frame size. I think they've done a nice job of just keeping her together. She's maybe not the most attractive up front. She's maybe not the most correct in terms of the way that she'll stand and then go off of her front end, but that heifer's good. In terms of her body, I like her levelness of lines as you get off to the side of her, definitely good. Young lady's got a heifer that's maybe a little bit more on the extreme side in terms of where she's at frame-wise, or the opposite end of the spectrum from just a standpoint of frame and length of body. Heifer's a little taller in terms of her stature, and again, don't mind that because I think she still comes with enough feature, enough foot size to balance it well. That heifer, as I get off to the profile of her, I don't like maybe just where her chest will set. Her neck, even though it's attractive, will set just a little lower right there at the base of her shoulder blade. As you get to the profile of her, I'd strengthen her top line and loin up as we let her go. Got a commercial heifer here that's super stout, really bold and really massive. I like the parts that particular heifer has. To me, again, I think just like talking about your plus on the far side, that heifer's got so much muscle, maybe it kind of leads to her undoing. She gets a little round, a little coarser built at the top of her neck and the base of her shoulder, and the same thing out of her hip, but still good cattle in her extra feature, the foot size, and the balance that she has. As I step off of them and I study them from the profile, I think livestock are built in proportions and balance, and I think that heifer that the young lady's got, the percentage female, is exactly that. She has the ideal look, in my opinion, in terms of where she's at frame size and body, and yet still feature foot size matching her extra length of body. Well, I love this heifer is, to me, she's one of those that in this mix looks like she will continue to have gas left in her tank. That thing's not giant bellied, but it matches her very well. She's not over fat, but she's got just enough on her to make her look good and balance right in her top line. I love her whenever you get her into motion there. There's times I think maybe her added length of body, if you get her in a short ring right here, she'll look like she'll want to just maybe short step just ever so slightly, but I think that's getting really critical on her. Not the widest based one ever, but a heifer that still has enough to her. Purebred Semi right here is a freak, man. I think as you just talk about just the amount of power and bulk and mass that thing's got, giant back, giant hipped, and big ribbed, and I know those are things that maybe we don't always talk about in females, but that's what I like in them. I want them to have some punch. Now this heifer with punch maybe comes with a little shoulder and chest. I don't know that maybe she's as comfortable or just as smooth from hooks to pins or as level as what the cattle is right ahead of her, but I certainly think as you ask them to set in motion out here amongst a group of them, that heifer still takes a good stride for the extra power that she's got. I like whenever she lays back on her heel, she'll set her hock back in her right. Now there's things you can nitpick on her just like I did, but I certainly think that'd get awful critical. Young man's is same way. Boy, whenever that thing stops and stands, this thing's got a neat, long-term cow kind of a look to her. Good-bodied and good-featured. I didn't read her as stout. I didn't maybe read her as good. Right there where her tail head will set in her hip comparatively, I don't think that maybe heifer's just as good from shoulder down into her knee and the way that she sloped. But for me personally, again, probably getting just a little critical. Young man's here again. Balance, proportion, and just the way that she's patterned is very, very good. I'd say for some, maybe a little more downsized in her frame. For me, I think still balance as well. She's maybe, again, just a little bunchier, a little rounder in her muscle. I do love her foot. I love her extra feature and just how it blends together. That's another heifer right there in the mix for me. Young lady's here is just another solid female. You'd like cattle built like that or just livestock. Good-footed, very good in terms of her structure on both ends of her body. Not got a wow factor in her, but I still think there's good cattle right there. And so with that being stated, I'm going to go out and I'm going to select your champion of reserve. Hopefully it didn't take just too long. I knew that we had some time, and the female show has been awfully, awfully good. And I think I'm looking at cattle that not only are competitive in this setting, but I'd say as we move towards the Iowa State Fair in the fall and into the deep winter shows, awesome set of cattle to present. Give these kids another round of applause to get your champion in reserve.
And the official results in the breeding heifers judged by Miles Tennis. Your champion goes to Olivia Beeson from Woodbury County. And reserved to Micaiah Smith from Crawford County. We are now at the halfway point. Up next will be the market lambs. We're going to take a little bit of an intermission, so if you need to get something to eat, something to drink, Southside Oldable Bowling Alley Trailer. This is where we like to play a little game, sponsored by Blaze and B Ranch. Last year, I had a $20 bill stuck under a piece of paper right where that kid with the Iowa shirt was sitting. It said, "Do not sit." And nobody sat there, so nobody won. This year, I made a sign that said, "Winner, winner, chicken dinner" on an orange piece of construction paper. And I just threw it on the ground. Did anybody find it? That little girl did. Come out here quick and get 20 bucks. See, you should always pick up trash. It pays. Run her out here because we've got time. Just jump the fence. Yeah. You're at a livestock show. You don't need to be properly etiquette here. You got to say your name and where you're from and who your parents are.
I'll get everything tomorrow.
You want to flip? You want to flip? Double or nothing? You either get 40 bucks or you get nothing. Okay. What's your name?
Monroe. Ashine.
Are you sure it's not Eyeshine? Are you north or south of Highway 30?
What?
Here's your 20 bucks. Who's your parents?
Andy and Heather.
Andy and Heather Ashine. Because they live south of Highway 30. Otherwise it'd be Eyeshine. Okay, you can go sit back down. See, it always pays to look for weird stuff here. And the year before, there was an orange sticker underneath the bleacher, but there really wasn't because nobody could find it. Beef, you couldn't see it either. So don't worry about it. But anyway, slight intermission while we get set to go to the second half of the show. So like I said, once again, it's about supper time. If you need something to eat, something to drink, trailer to the south. Audible Bullinelli. But we're going to go through while we wait these sponsors once again. You cannot thank your sponsors enough because without them, we would not be able to have this show and make it as good as it is. So, blue sponsors this evening is going to be Morton Buildings with Ottawa, Team Monona County, Pioneer Hybrid, Cass County Sales Rep, Becker Ridge Farms, Ida County Extension, Ida County Cattlemen, Farmers Cooperative Elevator, Farm Bureau Denise Von Dusen, Smith Charlet, Schulte Cattle Company, Trevor and Beth Kennett, Family, Stepping Stone Genetics, Kenny Angus, Iowa Meat Goat Association, Redenius Delivery Service with Team Ida County, Reggie and Sarah Boyles with Team Sac County, the Crawford County Cattlemen's, J.D. Wyman Service, and Wyman CarQuest, Coke Atlantic Bottling Company, Will Cattle Company, Obrecht Livestock Company, Don Chesky Show Pigs, Berry Farms, Damage Incorporated, Showstock, in memory of Dee Peterson, Whitney Club Lambs, Kruger Seeds with Brian Brenny, Bolt Trucking, More Club Lambs, and Letty Show Lambs. We'll move on to our reserve sponsors. These all have dollar amounts. That's how they pick where they're going to be. Nutrient Ag Solutions from Wall Lake, Othoud and Farm Supply out of Atlantic, ND Farms from Holstein, Woodbury County Cattlemen, Udell Cattle, Security National Bank, UBI, Woodbury County, Beck's Dunlap Ag LLC, Boyles Employer Show Pigs with Team Sac County, Sewer Livestock, Pryor Show Cattle with Team Harrison County, S2V2 Show Cattle and Team Carroll County, and Remington Seeds. Moving on to the champion sponsors. It's going to be the Koenig family with Team Crawford County, the Kid Rancher, Team Woodbury County, Nutrient, Timken Farms, Lanco, Animal Health International. And last but not least, it's the top of the list. The elite sponsors with the Crawford County Fairgrounds, Valley Vet, Stein Seed Company with Team Cass County, Josephine Photography, First Cooperative and Showrite, Iowa Corn Growers, United Bank of Iowa, Schooler Grain with Team Shelby County, Cass County Beef Producers, Kim Tipton Designs, Graphic Ideas, Purple Bound Show Feeds, Sullivan Supply, McDonald Genetics, and AMVC Vet Services. All those donors support provided the funds for all your prizes that the kids will get this evening. So I'm going to put the mic down for about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and you guys can go eat quick and be right back. And don't forget, is that for the cooler box? Look at this little man walking out. What's your sign say, bud? Vet Box Raffle, $10 a ticket. All proceeds go to the best in the West to make it even better for next year. So as they walk around, if you'd like to help donate, this is a good way to do it for only $10. You can show your support. And you have a chance at winning a cool vet box. And also in the other basket is tip donation for your announcer. Otherwise, you can find me on Venmo. I just got it. So keep your ticket stubs, and we'll draw towards the end of the show for a $599 retail value vet box.
While Bobby takes a break, now entering the show ring is Micaiah Smith, Crawford County, Delaney Hart, Monona County, Gretchen Wallace, Carroll County, Jackson Kent, sorry about her name, Ida County, Morgan Will, Cass County, Trevor Schultz, Shelby County, Riley Bowles, Woodbury County, Wayland, Gemberling, Sac County.
Another tremendous division, and I don't think that's any shock. We know what Western Iowa brings to the clubland world, and the tremendous number of great breeders that are in this part of the state, the tremendous number of great lamb showmen and families that function in this part of the United States. So when you get the opportunity to come here and sort through a group of county fair champions, as such, you just expect it to be phenomenal. And it is, and yet as good as it is, it's very close because there's just a ton of sort in this set of sheep, and they all have got different advantages. And I promise you that just every one of these kids came here thinking they had a shot to win this deal, and rightfully so. I'm going to describe them to you, and I'll tell you about them as I see them out here in the ring. The blue sheep is smooth and uniform. He's very, very muscular. His back shape is the densest of this particular group. His hip shape and rear stifle turn is the most impressive to me. He's the stout-featured, the big-footed one. And if he's elegant enough or attractive enough in his blade length and his neck attachment, the rest of his feature is really an outlier. He's a sheep that's a little flat in his forerib for this guy. He gets a little plain up there through his front end. He's just a little bit deep in his neck, and you've got to decide how much of that you're willing to accept to use that one. If you do, he's in the mix, no doubt. Extra touch, extra turn, all the good things. He's just a bit moderate for me. The one that comes next is skinny-necked and tall-fronted, one that is immature and huge-backed, great big creases and edges down his top. He's got too much set to his hind leg. That causes his hip to roll when we get right underneath him. He flattens up underneath just a little bit. I think that's the fault in that one. But, man, his hide's great. He's big muscle. The next one has some outlier pieces in this group. He's the roundest bodied one of this particular division. His forerib is the most unique. I'm a guy that finds lots of value in that. His loin edge isn't very good. His hind legs got real problems. He's too straight behind. His rear pasterns are too long. He's one that just doesn't have the correct hip angle to function. He hyperextends too much. He's well fitted. He's in the right kind of rig. Just I worry about the skeletal collection of that one when we talk about him. But he is big muscle, and he is crazy round body. The next one, smooth and silky when I get my hands on him. One that's smooth and fresh in terms of his look. Center of his back gets just a little bit off. He wants to roach up there in his top line. He's one that I don't think is quite as smooth in terms of the way he blends together. Kind of a dirty-hided one here that comes next, and one that at first he's hard to read. He doesn't want to show, and the young man fights him an awful lot. This is a good sheep. This one's tall-fronted, he's round-bodied, he's big-pinned, he's level and good-legged. I think we just need to maybe relax, and we need to just let this one come into himself. There's a pile of quality in that one. He's got a slinky little neck on top of a great big rib cage. If this one would just prop himself up and stand up and push, that one's got the build and uniqueness to stand out in a big show ring. I get those looks at him from time to time, and when I do, I think, man, he's the one. Then he wants to drop out and get away from me. You just got to ask yourself there, is it because of his attitude, or is it because of how he's built? You make the call. I'm about to make the call in my mind. To me, that's the question you ask yourself. Man, talk about one that's hides perfect, its presentation is great. That's yours, young lady. That thing is shiny in terms of his touch and tone, like just a pile about that one. His chest is really deep in relation to his flank. He's a sheep that to me looks like he's past his prime and he's too mature. Very well presented to me today. You do a great job showing him. He's a sheep I would have loved to have seen 45 days ago when he was still youthful and attractive up through his front end. A big productive one here that's bold-ribbed and stout. He's too off in his dock and he's not big enough in his feet. The one we end with, we can have the same discussion about him as we do this one. A sheep with a day in his life, I think we went, wow, that one's really good. And I think we're a pretty good ways past that now. His breastbone is out in him. He handles soft and mature. Just a good sheep, a well-presented sheep, a well-fitted sheep. A sheep that's just not in the right kind of tone and touch of the rest of these for me to put him up into the discussion. No doubt they're great and they're different, and there's 4 or 5 of them down on this end that are so different they make me rack my brain about what is the right thing to do. At the end of the day, my job is to evaluate the livestock that I think is the highest quality, and we're going to do that here in just a second. Give these kids a great big round of applause.
And the official results in the market lands. Your champion went to Jackson Kinnitz from Ida County. Reserved to Waylon Gemberling from Sac County. That was your market land class. Coming in next is going to be the market hogs. It's going to be Cheyenne Obrick from Shelby County. Haley Berger from Carroll County. Ace Berry, Woodbury County. Cale Niehaus, Sac County. Brody Pryor, Harrison County. Brett Henners from Crawford County. And Jared Voss from Ida County. In your market hog class tonight, with your celebrity judge, Miles Tenyes from Highland, Illinois, who flew TWA Airlines all the way to Denison. The other guy got lost. He took the detour. Come up 59, it was bad. He ended up and done that. But anyway, your Best of the West Showdown gift certificate for the market hog class is a $500 sale credit to McDonald Genetics. There's two of them. Yep. $500 sale credit from McDonald Genetics, Corey McDonald.
I don't.
doesn't maybe just take as much time in the pigs, or you don't want to take as much time as you realize that some of them have had to come quite some way to get over here and into the show ring, and don't want to wear any of them down, just a whole bunch. And obviously new setting, and the pigs are just starting to maybe rock and roll and feel good. There's definitely some quality out here, though, and I think the kids have done an impeccable job of not only getting their pigs ready for the ring, but showing them out here in the ring. And so again, you know, probably haven't just stated it enough, or maybe stated it too much tonight, but what a unique opportunity that these kids are getting tonight to be able to be a part of this, and your families to be a part of this. And again, no matter if you won your county, your reserve, or where you set, or you know, you get the opportunity to come here, hopefully you're grateful for the chance. I mean, we're in an awkward, a weird year in where we didn't think there'd be shows at one point, and like Britton said earlier, in Illinois we've had more jackpot shows than I think we've ever had, but our counties canceled on us early and never really gave us an opportunity. People in our counties decided that they would try to have some jackpot shows and try to have something for these kids to do, but man, I'll tell you what, we don't have anything like this, never have, and I hope at some point that we will. And so with that being stated, the kids have done an awesome job once again, and just like in each one of these divisions, just like in each one of these groups, I think it's definitely one of those deals that we need to put our hands together real hard for them and congratulate them for their efforts. With that being said, we've had the opportunity, Brent has, to judge some good sheep. I've judged a very nice set of breeding gilts and a really, really nice set of breeding heifers there. And I thought, to me, you know, that was a challenging trio probably in that division of breeding heifers. And I thought, to me, that there was probably a little more chance for reserve than there was a grand in the breeding gilts. In the champion market hog setting, it's non-negotiable. Again, there is one that is out there, and without a doubt, the stoutest, the best looking, the squarest built, just got great big legs and feet, and awesome in his rib. I love his look and his comfort level, and like I said, it is non-negotiable. Young lady, you got the best market barrel. Congratulations to you. I think for reserve, definitely just a little more challenging. You got a really good champion. If you didn't like him, I'd say you probably got to do something else. If you're venturing into the show pigs, that guy was plenty good and probably one of the best so far, just in terms of animals that have come through. I thought he was excellent, and the young lady did a great job of getting him presented in a very, very elite show bear. I'd love to have pigs like that, breed them, feed them, do those types of things. And so, with that being stated, I think reserve's really challenging. Each one of these has unique things or has things you'd like to change. The young lady's right there is a giant muscle, just really, really big, broad back, big hip kind of a bear. Both ends of his skeleton. I'd like to see him work with more reach and range of motion. He's a nickel round in his hip and maybe just wants to stutter step more there out of his hind leg, but certainly a nice one there. Got the young man's right here, I think's right in the mix, man. He comes at you good, real fresh at the top of his neck. He's good leaving you, hog that's real square in his back. I can't get his lines of setting him right from the side. He's a little too sway back for me, and then up front maybe just starting to stutter step off of his front end, but certainly a nice bear as well. Got the young man's hairy bear there, the big belted hog. He's got a lot of shape to him, a bear that maybe comes just a little flatter and twisted up front. I don't see him as attractive about his head and neck and his spine whenever he goes, but that's certainly a good bear as well. get through him there, and the young man's got a barrel here close to me that I like in his pattern and presence. Once his head comes up and his top line goes down, that barrel balanced really well. And my question is on him, is just there enough bone? Is there enough chest width and squareness of knee? And then as you're right up on him, of the three I'm thinking about, he's the most bland in terms of his muscle shape. That's a good hind leg and a really square build. Nice kind of a market hog. I like this barrel from the side that the young man's got right here in front of me, man. I think he puts a lot of good things together in terms of just length of body and profile. Got an extra amount of shape as you're up on him. Get in behind him. He twists his right rear. He's got a little swelling in it. And I would see maybe him just as good right there at his throat latch or his ham loin hookup. But certainly a nice barrel. Just a big, solid, growthy, practical, productive barrel with enough ring look there that the young man's got. Does he have enough hind leg stoutness? Does he have just enough muscle? And he's one of those that's obviously pushing the upper echelon in terms of weight. And so the barrel's maybe getting just a shot stale. I'm going to look at your barrels here again for your reserve champion market division. But man, what a quality group of them. Incredibly elite barrel to win this division. Again, if you could put your hands together for them one more time, and they'll select your reserve champion.
And your judges' official results. Your champion market hog is Cheyenne Obrick from Shelby County. And reserved went to Jared Voss from Ida County. And up next, we're going to start with the market goats. As they make their way into the ring, it's going to be Sac County's William Voiles. Monona County, Arissa Gunlegson. Sorry, I just butchered your name. Woodbury County, Eric Johnson. Carroll County is going to be Brooke Booth. Cass County is McKenna Potter. Ida County, Keaton Johnson. And Crawford County is going to be Brian Lamp. Your market goats.
First and foremost, we just want to thank everybody that helped donate for this show this year. We have probably tripled what we were able to give back to the kids, and that came from people stepping up and helping in each county. So anybody that has a yellow shirt on has volunteered, donated their time. What it takes to put on these shows is all the counties' kids that are showing here. It takes 1 to 2 sponsors from each of those counties. And if anybody wants to step up and be on our committee, help with this next year, we would be more than happy to have you come help. You just need to come talk to one of us in a yellow shirt, and we would love to have all the help we can get getting donations, because everything we raise goes back to these kids. And that's what this is all about. So once again, please put your hands together for the sponsors and the committee that helped get this all done.
And a huge thank you to
Everybody, let's just stand off of them, put their heads up, okay? Well, this is the last time you've got to listen to me tonight, so some of you be real happy about that. I just want to say thanks to the crew that puts this show on, and I mean that sincerely, because I mentioned at the beginning of this that my family and about 5 other people started putting one on in Western Illinois, and until then I probably judged 15 or 20 of these. But until we put that first one on in 2019, you will never truly understand the man hours, the time, and the effort that go into doing this. You know, you show up tonight with your livestock or to watch your friends, and it's this fantastic event that you get to go home from tonight and say, man, that was awesome. And these people standing around this ring in these yellow shirts are going to be here when you go home cleaning up, and they're going to get up tomorrow morning and start thinking about how they're going to make 2021 better for these kids. And I mean that, I say that sincerely, because I did not have that appreciation until we did it. And then you realize that this is not August 3rd, 2020. This starts August 4th, 2020, and ends August 2nd, 2021, and it starts over. And I mean that, and I'm going to ask you, and I know Miles will do the same, and we're not at the end, but we're at the end of me getting to talk. And they gave me the mic, so I'm going to say it. Put your hands together and thank those people. The opportunity for our young people to show livestock is something that we've truly taken for granted. And to come from a state that we had no county fairs, that we're not going to have a traditional state fair. Ours is going to happen in September as a jackpot show if it happens at all. And we think about the fact that up until about the 9th day of March, no one ever dreamed that we would be saying, are we going to get to have our county fair? You know, are we going to get to go to the Iowa State Fair? Is there going to be a Louisville? Is there going to be a Denver? Is there going to be a Kansas City? And I'm going to tell you right now, the proudest that maybe I could be of my son, and that you folks can be of the kids I've judged tonight in every species, in every arena, is that these livestock are prepped like they're going to go win the Iowa State Fair, or they're going to go win Kansas City or Louisville. And guys, that's easy to say now that you know we're going to have an Iowa State Fair or a Kansas City or Louisville. But I promise you they didn't look like this because these kids weren't working on them when they weren't sure. You know, there was a day that they said, maybe they're going to cancel our county fair. Maybe there's going to be no Iowa State Fair. And you don't end up with stock that looks like I judged tonight if they took a couple of weeks off. They did their work. They prepared for their lesson just like it was going to happen. That makes me proud to be a farm guy. It makes me proud to be a livestock judge. And it makes me proud to be a dad of a kid that did the same thing in our show barn. That excites me about what the future looks like. I'm going to talk to you about the goats. I'm going to get you a champion in reserve. We're going to let Miles get in here. And Miles was on my judging team at Lakeland College a long time ago, and somewhere between there and now, he learned to sound a lot better on the mic than me, so I'm just going to let him handle that part of it. The one that starts, big muscles, hard backs, a goat that's loin is very, very good. He's a goat that maybe doesn't touch in his lower forerib, just as unique and as lean as I deem ideal. But he's a goat that's in the mix because that one's rack is big and square. He's fluffy down his backside. He's one that's got a pile of quality. This one's unique in his forerib shape. He's not presented as highly as a couple of these. Not clipped and not fitted, maybe just as out there. But I'm telling you, if you talk about livestock, that's a short-bladed, good underlined one that's rib is built like a 55-gallon drum. And I don't believe it matters what species of livestock we evaluate. When you can make them that bold and that square-centered and be that shallow, that's one that's got to be in contention because of that. Do I wish you had just a bit more shape to his hip? You're darn right I do. I don't think his hip's quite long enough. I think it caused his hind leg to be a little straight. But the front two-thirds of that one has pieces that are just so unique, it's hard to ignore the value he brings. This thing's a freak. I mean, it just is what it is. You know, we could stand here and say, oh, it's close and blah. It ain't. That one's big backed, he's big legged, he's big hipped, he's big everywhere he's supposed to be, and he's skinny and slinky everywhere else he's supposed to look like that. That's a show goat, young lady. I hope you do well in Des Moines. The next one, big muscles, big curves, wide and stout. He's too fat. Trim that one up. He looks like the one in front of him, right? His silhouette is similar. His build is similar. His breastbone is too deep, and he's a bit heavy conditioned for me in relation to some of these others. But his extraskeletal width and boldness have to put that one in the discussion. You got to be looking at him because he quite possibly is the widest one out here. Stout one right here. I wish he handled harder. His topside shape is just a bit soft for me. Man, he hits the ring, and his legs are big, and he's bold and burly, and you think, that's one I can get into. And then I get my hands on him, and I'm like, and that may be the fourth or fifth thickest one in here just from touch. Presented to the max, man. You did a great job getting him here. That one looks like he should be elite. He don't mean my hand quite like that when I touch him. Good one here that's bold-ribbed and long-bodied. He just needs more muscle in relation to those ones about him. This one will fool you right here because you walk in the ring and you think she's skinny and man, she ain't got enough to her. I'm not sure there's a bigger racked, harder touching one in this group than that one. I mean, you get in here and you get your hands on that thing. That one is bold and square and hard. I wish she weighed 25 pounds more. I wish that so she could open up a little bit. But there's that. I mean, that's a good goat. That's a good goat. It's going to get outpowered here in a minute by a couple we're going to use. But you talk about crisp shape and edges. There's value in that, and that one's got them. And you got to like that about her. She'll fool you. You don't see it until you get your hands on her. And if you don't, you should touch her because that one's big and square out of the back of her shoulder. Guys, I'm a horrible poker player. I'm going to go out here and tell you who your reserve is because I think you got the champion figured out.
And the official results in the market goats. Your champion went to Cass County and McKenna Potter. Reserve went to Ida County and Keaton Johnson. Coming in last, it's our last class of the night. It's your market beef. Hold it down over there, Rex. Market beef is going to be coming into the ring here in a few minutes. We're going to get them all set up. This is your last class. Yep, last chance to buy raffle tickets for the vet box. Also, last chance probably here if you want to get a steak sandwich, a pop, cheeseburger, cheese balls, corn nuggets, you name it, they got it. It's the Old Bowling Alley concession trailer located just south of the showroom. And the last class is going to be Market Beef as they make their way into the ring. It's going to be Jackson Walker from Monona County, Charlie Pryor, Harrison County, Morgan Will, Cass County, Macy Groon, Crawford County, Isaac Beeson, Woodbury County, Ben Todd from Ida County, Riley Obrick from Shelby County, Aiden Bondrock from Sac County, and Nate Vanami out of Carroll County. This is your last class, the Market Beef of the Best in the West Showdown at the Crawford County Fairgrounds. With your elite sponsors tonight, not only is your Crawford County Fairgrounds, it's Valley Vet, Stein Seed Company with Team Cass County, Josephine Photography, First Co-op and Showright, Iowa Corn Growers, United Bank of Iowa, Schooler Grain, and Team Shelby County, Cass County Beef Producers, Kim Tipkin Designs, Graphic Ideas, Purple Mountain Show Feeds, Sullivan Supply, McDonald Genetics, and AMVC Vet Services. Those are your elite sponsors. Moving on to our champion sponsors. It's going to be Koenig Family, Team Crawford County, The Kid Rancher with Team Woodbury County, Nutrient, Timken Farms, Alanco, Animal Health International. Reserve sponsors this evening were Nutrient Ag Solutions on Wall Lake, Oathwood and Farm Supply. Out of Atlantic, ND Farms Holstein, Woodbury County Cattlemen, Udell Cattle, Security National Bank, UBI of Woodbury County, Beck's Dunlap Ag LLC, Voiles Employer Show Pigs with Team Sac County, Sewer Livestock, Pryor Show Cattle with Team Harrison County, S2V2 Show Cattle with Team Carroll County, and Remington Seeds. And coming up the back is going to be your blue sponsors of Morton Buildings out of Ottawa with Team Monona County, Pioneer Hybrid, Cass County Sales Reps, Becker Ridge Farms, Ida County Extension, Ida County Cattlemen, Farmers Co-op Elevator, Farm Bureau with Denise Von Dusen, Smith Charlet, Schulte Cattle Company, Trevor and Beth Kennitz, Family, Stepping Stone Genetics, Kenny Angus, Iowa Meat Goat Association, Redenius Delivery Service with Team Ida County, Reggie and Sarah Voiles with Team Sac County, Crawford County Cattlemen, J.D. Wyman Service and Wyman CarQuest, Coke, Atlantic Bottling Company, Will Cattle Company, Obrecht Livestock, Don Chesky Show Pigs, Berry Farms, Damage Incorporated Show Stock, In Memory of D. Peterson, Whitney Club Lambs, Kruger Seed with Brian Brenny, Bolt Trucking, More Club Lambs, and Let Show Lambs. And like I already said, don't forget the Odabolt Bowling Alley and Catering located south of our building. Without their support and their continued support, we could not make this happen. Does anybody else want to buy a ticket for the vet box, for a chance to win the vet box? Raise your hand if you do. Otherwise, we're going to draw. I can't take the anticipation any longer. Nobody? Nobody? Haley, with Penny Hill Photography, come here. You're going to be our guest picker. Have you ever been arrested? Okay, you're honest and get it. So red tickets. If you bought a ticket chance for the vet box, your little red ticket, we're going to draw for it right now while your judge anticipates the outcome. 459036. 459036. Who's got it? Man, I'm too off. I do. Who bought it just before me? 459036. You got it cleared on in the end? Do you want the $20 or the vet box? She's going to take the vet box, darn it.
And also, when we wait results, the girls are in the ring taking the photos this evening. Rachel with Redefined Photography, she's at the backdrop taking the pictures of the champions. Haley, who is an intern with Redefined, but also owns Penny Hill Photography. And Abby with Josephine Photography. Look them up on Facebook and order your pictures tonight.
Man, once again, just a very, very elite set of livestock that are out here, and obviously elitely put together as well. I think as you look through each one of these champions in your counties, without question, there's quality in each one of them. And they probably do it a little different in terms of their shape and size. And so from that standpoint, it probably makes it just a bit more challenging. I don't know where you want to set your priorities from a structure standpoint, then even more importantly to me, outside of structure first, but where you're going to be at just frame size and condition and all those good things. So we got good market cattle out here, and each one of these kids have done a nice job. You got to like the young man Smoke there on the far side, man. I think in terms of his skeletal quality and structure, probably as good as any of the cattle that are in here, honestly. Very good in his knee and front end, and I love the squareness and comfort that guy's got as you watch his rear foot and his hock work there behind. A calf that's maybe a little more downsized in his frame, a calf that to me still balances well enough, a relative body relative to frame size. Then as you get off to the profile of him, and you do talk about balance, he maybe runs downhill just a slight bit, and maybe even for his frame size a shot longer in terms of his body. But man, is that thing good handling, and he's good as you get in behind him. Awesome structured cattle. Got a black one right behind him that's fed well. The calf looks like he's done good from his spine down into his sheet. That calf's real deep and soggy and soft in his midsection of his body. You can tell why he's won a fat steer show. He just is a fat steer. Now out here amongst a group of them, in terms of being big ribbed and muscular, that calf's going to have to be sounder. As I go towards both ends of his body, not only is maybe a little more unattractive through his front end, but that calf is real straight off of both ends as well. And if some would say he's there at a market weight, and it's fine, once they're all there close to a market weight, that's whenever it becomes challenging. Got a calf for the young lady. I don't know that maybe he's just ripe and finished yet, but that's a steer that's got a big back and hip in him. I like to fix his front end. I worked down there through his knee and front foot. I didn't see that guy assembled quite as correctly as what I do a few of these other cattle, but certainly good. A lot of muscle and power in that steer. I like that calf in terms of just the extra practicality, rib and body muscularity. He's going to hang well. Calf that, just like I talked about, amongst an elite group of them, his structure is going to have to be better. Just as I work up at his shoulder and I study his hock and rear foot, I just like to see that guy a little more comfortable in the way that he walks. We've got a real good black steer, stands right there behind him. I think he's combination cattle in terms of width and power and squareness of body, squareness as you get in behind the cattle, and then yet still, for me personally, as you set him out and in motion. I'm not saying he's perfect. I don't know that any of these cattle maybe are. I'd maybe just loosen him a shot out of his hip, but that calf is real broad whenever you're up on him. He's got an incredible handle quality about him, really, really widespread as you get in behind him, and he looks like a fat steer as you get off to the side of him. I love this smokes look, man. I'm a sucker for a long neck and good front end, and that thing has got it. Sets it way up on top of his shoulder, and his length of body's good. I think for an extra shot of frame and length of body, calf still has muscle whenever you get right in behind him. I love that thing's pin set, his hock and rear foot, and how it all balances and stabilizes. I get to the profile of him, and maybe at times his added length of body will take away right in behind his shoulder blade and into his forerib. That calf doesn't handle his fat over his rib, and then as I work from his shoulder down into his knee, I'd like to relax him and just give him a little better front end. This calf I love at the ground. I think it just like the calf on the far side, as you just study comfort of heel and depth of heel and size of foot and their structure on both ends, I don't know that you could build one any better. He's done what he's needed to do every day, it looks like, just in terms of starting to get soft enough in his rib, feeding well for the young lady. He's a calf there that obviously she's putting together very, very, very well, and the crew has to do that to his hind leg and just to his arm and to his front end. Obviously that calf may be a little slicker haired around his body, but you get down low on him, and I think it makes him look real good, and I love his structure. Once he stops and poses, boy, he's a good-looking sucker. Whenever he's out there, he's going to roll up in his rear loin, and he's going to get a little flatter in his pin set, and I don't see that calf maybe just as naturally wide-based as some of these other cattle out here, a little thicker at the crest of his neck, but still high-quality cattle that I think is getting very, very critical on. Young ladies has got one right there that obviously must have been a darn good county fair, and she had one that was a little lighter there, and some would say, at this setting, where do you set 1200s, 1250s, 1300s, 1350s, whatever? In my opinion, just use the best livestock, and I'd have to say that maybe your steer was the best one there. I love his incredibly good build, good pattern. That's the steer that whenever you step off of him, he gives you the best look from the side. He's got a great good turn to his rib cage as well, and I think that calf is wide enough as you compare him to a few of these other ones. Now, maybe as you get into 1, 2, or 3 of these right in front of him, he's not as wide. I do see that calf just a nickel straight in his hock, and I don't see him maybe just opening up as big in his upper hip as what I do some of these other cattle. But boy, look at that profile as you get off of him, and that lady's done an awesome job of getting that thing ready. Got the young man's heifer on the far side, really powerful and wide, like the extra amount of muscle and product that one's going to carry. Again, maybe just a little off structurally. Don't just quite see her front end just as attractive and as smooth built as some of these other ones. But got a nice set of market heifers. The young man's and down here, the young man's on the far side. And I told them we don't have those in Illinois anymore. For some reason, they gave up on us and they don't want us to have them. But you guys always have good ones in Iowa, and so got to appreciate those amongst the group of them. What a good set of steers and a great group of kids. And I've talked long enough. I've looked at them long enough. I know what I want to do. I think your champion is your champion today, and then we're going to go ahead, maybe get just a little tighter for reserve. But again, give these kids a nice big round of applause. Well deserved. Very, very high quality cattle. I would be just want to say thank you to the group that allowed me to come. I want to say thank you to each one of them, and I wanted to say thank you. I don't know if he's still here anymore, but Brent Titus, good friend of mine, and actually what most don't know, Brent was my judging coach at one point in my life, and so if I get him wrong, it's Brent's fault. If I get him right, I did it all myself. So congratulations to each one of you. Job well done again. A great show. Thank you very, very much for having me.
official results in the market beef, your champion goes to Isaac Beeson from Woodbury County and reserved to Morgan Will out of Cass County. On behalf of the Best of the West Showdown, I do appreciate everybody for showing up tonight. Redefine Photography, Penny Hill Photography, and Josephine Photography, they were your photographers this evening. If you'd like to check them out on Facebook for all your photos, feel free to look them up. We appreciate their business and coming to do the volunteer everything. Your judges tonight was Miles Tenyas and Brent Titus. Let's give them a round of applause for coming all the way from Illinois. Okay, you're only going to get 2 people to clap. But anyway, once again, we'll see y'all next year. If you'd like to help support the Best of the West, get a hold of anybody in a yellow shirt. Till next year, drive safe.
And that will do it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. This has been a production of Fuller Digital Solutions.